Hello, everybody. I think I'm live now. Sorry about that. Been an afternoon. So excited that I have a very, very awesome guest. He is a law firm owner. Surprise, surprise. Kellam Parks is going to join me in 1 second. And before that, a video for us to remember what this podcast is all about.
Welcome to Care Sandwich, the podcast where we dive into the success journeys of law firm owners across the country. I'm Margarita Everline, your host and the founder of Marketing Boss, a fractional chief marketing officer firm for law firms. On this show, we'll explore the challenges, strategies, and victories that have shaped law firms and how they wrap every interaction with care. Because we believe that caring isn't just a value, it's a strategy for success. So grab your favorite sandwich, sit back, and let's dig into a conversation filled with insight, inspiration, and of course, a lot of care.
Hello, hello. Welcome back from our little break. So I'm going to welcome to the virtual stage our awesome guest, Kellam Parks. Come on in. There he is. I pronounced it right? Because I practiced it in my head.
You absolutely did.
Yes. All right. It took me a minute. I was teasing him. I'm like, English is my second language. How do you pronounce it? Anyway, it matters. Thank you so much for joining me. And thank you so much for your patience and your grace. It is the end of the day. And I know you have a bunch of legal work to do. And I want to start by thanking you for this space and thanking you for sharing your story. Tell us, who are you? What do you do? How'd you get into this mess?
Sure. So, and I want to let you off the hook with my name because it's a weird first name. It's a popular last name around here, and judges even I've known them for 20 years. They mispronounce it. So your English is second language. You did perfect. Fantastic. So thank you so much for having me. I couldn't agree more that the whole premise of your podcast, caring. Obviously, we need to do that at all levels. Care about ourselves, care about our people at the law firm, and obviously care about our clients. So I'm a lawyer. I'm a law firm owner. I also own a dance company with my daughter, who will be 28 in December. My wife, who's a retired school teacher, and I help her run that business. And then I started a law firm owner coaching company last year called The Motivated Lawyer. So I spend a lot of time helping lawyers figure out the business of law. For my law firm, we've got 14 lawyers. We're in across Virginia and North Carolina. We do about 12 different practice areas. When I practice law, which isn't as much as it used to be, I do cybersecurity, data privacy work, and high asset divorces. But really, we try to help our clients across both states in any way we can.
I'm overwhelmed. Like, how many practice areas?
Well, I personally do 2 or 3, but we do 12 at my law firm. So we're sort of one of those old-timey generalist firms. So we do a lot of different things. Everything we do, consumer starts, we do the trust and estates, criminal traffic, divorces, family law. We do business formations, mediation. I do cybersecurity. So we really just try to help the clients where they are with whatever they need. And I've been doing it for 26 years now. I've had a law. I started as a solo in 2012, brought on a partner in 2015, and we've managed to grow it pretty well. I always laugh that we're successful despite ourselves because we didn't get a good business coach until about 3 years ago. So we were sort of roaming in the dark, which is one of the reasons I did coaching, trying to figure it out. That's the hard part.
So talk to me about that. Like, help me connect how you went from the practice of law and being fully committed to that to then expanding. I was going to say splitting, but sure. I'm not using limiting language. Expanding to this other venture.
Sure. So I was always a litigator. So I started, in law school, I thought I was going to be a prosecutor. So I geared my education toward criminal law. And then I realized I put myself through school and I really couldn't afford to do that. So I went to the civil world, did various types of civil work for many years. And I really liked trying cases. I'm good at it. I enjoyed the litigation. And then when I started my own firm as a solo in 2012, I really fell in love with the business of law. And so both my mother and father were entrepreneurs. I never even knew I was an entrepreneur, but apparently I had that gene in me. And over time, I really enjoyed figuring out the business of law and hiring people and growing the firm more than the practice. And then once I started getting into coaching groups, which I did pretty quickly, I really found that I liked helping other lawyers figure it out as well. And so as I slowly became a law firm owner over years, I was giving away a lot of free lunches and dinners, which I'm always happy to do, trying to just share what I know. And I always laugh and say, I think a lot of the value I can provide and what I have provided is what not to do. Like the pitfalls, right? Like don't do what I did here, do this over here.
Follow me, I'm a walking cautionary tale. Let's go.
Exactly right. Like and so one of the things that I share, so I'm a tech guy, right? So I headed the Virginia State Bar's special committee on technology and the future practice of law. I'm into AI. I teach CLEs on AI. I do that one area. And so integrating that and helping other lawyers figure that out in all areas, it's not just tech, but I just found that that's my true passion. So I still enjoy practicing some law. These days, with the exception of some high asset divorces, I focus on cybersecurity, data privacy. So I help companies figure that stuff out. And run the firm with my partner, and he and I are co-owners, and we have a COO that really helps us do the day-to-day. But I found that even more than both of those, which I both enjoy in some capacity, is really just helping other lawyers figure it out, which is why I started the coaching company.
So let me ask you this, and if you don't mind, I'm going to go down the route of the coaching thing because I'm fascinated, and I can relate. I'm not a coach. I'm in a sort of hybrid role where I give advice. My company gives advice as a CMO based on data, right? So we analyze data, but then we rely on the business owner to buy into the advice, make decisions they need to make to then implement it, right? The agencies, whatever implements, but they have to make those decisions. So one thing that I run into, and selfishly, I'm now asking you for advice because I want to see how you handle it. I run into, the law firm owner will come to us and say, my marketing's not working, right? And then we'll do an audit, and then we'll look at, we look at top of the funnel. Is it the visibility? Is it the brand? Is it middle of the funnel? Is it, the clicks are not there? Is it, they're not remarketing, they're not nurturing their leads? Or is it the bottom of the funnel, like sales, intake, Karen's being Karen at the front desk, right? So then what we do is we say to the business owner, here's what we found. Here's our recommendation. You need, a software for attribution. You need training for Karen. You need, maybe revisit your scope with this vendor because you have a skill set that's missing. Your vendor's really good at positioning your ads, but they're not good at video and photography. You need a source thesis, right? And then one thing that happens that, and I'm going to use the word frustrating because it frustrates us, is like, we're telling you what to do, and how to fix it. But then they have to make that decision of, all right, I'm going to make the investment in a videographer or photographer, right? Or I'm going to make the change, or I'm going to authorize whatever. But then they don't, because of whatever reason. Sometimes it's mindset, sometimes it's budget, which that's understandable, right? We find creative solutions for that. How do you handle it when you're giving people the formula in your consultant role? Because we get into the weeds, with the data and manage the project. So we're kind of hybrid, right? But I'm wondering, how do you handle it when you're literally giving them the blueprint, and then they have to act on it, and then they don't? And I use the word frustrating, not because I'm being critical. I have a lot of love and compassion for my clients. I get their life is really hard, right? But it's frustrating because it's I see the other side. How do you handle it? Help me.
Sure. Look, that is absolutely something that is important. So the reason my company is called Motivated Lawyer, motivate's an acronym. And so M is the most important part, which is mindset. And so some lawyers that I work with, they need more hand-holding than others, and they need the mindset to understand. One of the most important things that I teach and that I try to convey is the importance of time. Time is the one thing that has a limited supply of, and it's the most valuable thing you have.
Yes.
And so Dan Martell's book, Buy Back Your Time, which I know a lot of people have read, I should have 1,000 copies to give away. So, but the idea is, as a lawyer, at the very minimum, you're billing for your time. Maybe it's flat fee, maybe it's contingency, maybe it's hourly, but your time is worth a certain amount of money. As a law firm owner, that amount is a multiple of what your billable rate should be. But even if it's just your billable rate, and even if you're a young lawyer and only billing $200 to $300 an hour, just think about for a minute that if you're hired a CMO such as yourself to give the good advice, and maybe one of your advices is, hey, you need to be able to do the video. Well, as a busy lawyer and as a law firm owner, I will tell you, and one of the reasons we grew slower than we could have before we got an individual business coach telling me basically the same thing I'm saying now, is you need somebody to help implement, right? You need the person to do the work because it's not your area. You're not a videographer, most likely, talking to the lawyer. And B, you don't have any time to do it. You're too busy practicing law, putting out fires, trying to, work as a CEO of your law firm to design it. So you hire experts such as yourself to give the advice, and then you have to hire the people to do it. And at the end of the day, if they say, well, I don't have time to hire anyone, and they just can't get there, they're not ready for coaching. I've turned down clients to where they're not willing to frankly listen to what they need to do. And at the end of the day, I'm not there to tell them you have to do it this way or you must listen to me. I have the magic bullet. There's no magic bullet. Right. But fundamentally, you have to understand the value of your time, whatever that means. And whether you like trying cases, then that's it should be the highest value cases, right? You shouldn't be doing every case that comes in the door. Or if you don't like trying cases or you like the business of law, then it should be the strategy. And you need to go hire a fractional CMO, a fractional CFO, CEO, COO until you get large enough. So we have an in-house full-time marketing manager. I have an in-house full-time COO because we have 35 people and 14 lawyers. Yeah. But as you grow, and that's the value that you give and that CMO, and that's fractional, not a lot of great things came out of the pandemic, but one thing that I think really did was the idea of fractional C-level executives really hit it because nobody could get together. And the value that you provide is enormous. And you just have to show them, you've paid me all this money to give you advice. I'm the expert. I promise you. And look, when you're growing, you're the most important part. You can be the best lawyer in the world, but if nobody's calling you and you're unable to convert those to clients, which I call marketing and then intake, really two sides of the same coin, you don't have a business. So hiring you to tell them what to do is great, but then they have to go hire the people to do it. So implementation is the hardest thing because we're also control freaks. You know that. Most lawyers are type A control freaks. Nobody can do it as good as I can. I need to do it myself. And a lot of what I do for my clients, and most of them come to me with that mindset. I had that mindset. Yeah. Most of what I do, that's the mindset. It's, hey, no, not true. First of all, you probably aren't the best person to do it, not to burst your bubble. But secondly, what Dan Martell says is 80% is awesome. Go find somebody to do 80% as well as you, but it'll get done. Whereas if you try to do it yourself, it's not going to get done. So that's a very long-winded answer to your question. But at the end of the day, you just have to convince them that their time is more valuable and it's not going to get done if it's on their plate.
Like if you could just give me one more soundbite that says, and hire your marketing boss as your fractional CMO. I'm all my promo videos. Look, this is perfect. Thank you.
Well, it is. And so, I have clients I have a couple of one-on-one clients right now. And one person is a tax attorney and he came from a large firm. He's had his firm for about 2 years and he doesn't need any more. He can't do the business he has. So his challenge was hiring somebody to help him handle the intake and also handle paralegal work and be able to get the work done. Then we're going to do, quite frankly, he doesn't need marketing because he can't even answer the calls that he has now to do the work. On the other hand, I've got another client that is trying to grow his business and his thing is, hey, I want to do this kind of law, but I don't have enough clients in that area. So I'm doing this other kind of law that I don't really want to do. I said, oh, well, then your number one thing is marketing. We have to get the right clients to come to you. And then the other thing is part of my coaching is, no matter what it is, whether it's technology or marketing. So marketing, and that's the visibility, V for and the nice little acronym I put together. But for me, what I'm saying is these are the principles. This is how you need to do it. This is avatar client. This is how you do it. And then I connect them with people like you. I say, look, you need a fractional CMO. You need a videographer. You need whatever you need. Here are a couple of people that I know, trust, and like that can do a good job. Now I'm basically giving you the Rosetta Stone. I'm giving you the lexicon to be able to talk to them, so you know what to ask. You know what they're talking about. Again, I'm giving them good vendors such as yourself. That's not going to, they're not going to get ripped off, and they're going to certainly do good work. But at least now they understand the right questions to ask you, and they understand to be able to give you the answers, and everybody wins. So that's a lot of what I'm trying to do is be a translator and sort of identify the issues that they, quite frankly, don't know anything about because they didn't teach us anything about business in law school.
This is great. I feel like I just got like a coaching selfishly.
I'll send you my bill. That sounds
Oh,
great.
please. So I could talk to you forever, but we don't have a lot of time because I know you have to get back to
Sure.
work, and I don't want to go over too much. But tell us, how can people get a hold of you if they want to connect with you about your law firm's legal services, or even your coaching, or like, just tell us how to
To
connect
get a
with
hold of me, sure, absolutely. So you can get a hold of me either way. So my law firm is Parks Ziegler. My email address is kparks, so K for Kellam, Parks, kparks@pzlaw.com. Or, and by the way, I respond to both, but if you are interested in the coaching, it's kparks@themotivatedlawyer.com. Really easy to remember. One thing that I will, so I do a free weekly newsletter. So every Tuesday morning, I send out a newsletter where I talk about one business principle under the Motivate framework. I talk
Okay.
about 4 AI stories of the week before, and then a practical AI tip, because again, I'm all into AI and tech, and I think it's important.
Yes.
So if you go to themotivatedlawyer.com right now, all it is a newsletter sign up spot. Just enter your information. I'll put you on the list. You'll get that email as a lawyer every week. And then the big launch of my company is by the end of the year, hopefully by the end of November. And that's where I'm going to be doing group coaching. So right now I do one-on-one coaching. That's 12-week program. And I'm certainly happy to talk to people about that, but it's an investment. The group coaching is going to be month to month. It's going to have a 2 Zooms a month, and then a cohort where we can talk about these issues. And it's a much less steep investment. It's only month to month. So I'm happy to, and you'll hear about it because I'm going to be all over LinkedIn. But yeah, I'm always happy to talk to people for free. I'm happy to give them some quick advice, and if I can help, I want to do it. It's my passion.
Don't say that. Don't ever say that again. You give really good
That's why I
advice.
do newsletters free. I want to give away free information. I mean, the same thing that you do. I think it's important.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm just teasing you, but yeah, no, I love
for sure.
educating and empowering people as well. So I get you. So there you have it,
Sure.
folks. And tell us one more cool thing about you. What is your favorite sandwich?
My favorite sandwich is a chicken Parmesan sub.
That's
A
interesting.
good chicken Parm sub absolutely does it for me.
That's interesting. From anywhere in particular, or just?
Well, I'm picky. So there's a place, I'm in Virginia Beach, Norfolk area, and there's a place called Franco's that have been around since the 1980s. And so far, it's the best chicken Parm sub I've had anywhere in the world.
Nice.
And it's only a mile from my house, which is dangerous.
Oh,
it's
no. Self-control, self-control. How motivated are you to have self-control?
Yeah, I'm not a small guy, right? There's a reason why. Absolutely.
That's awesome. We got to turn that into muscle. That's what I tell my boys.
I know. I try.
Boys,
you bet.
Big, strong boys. So anyway, well, this has been great. There you have it, folks. You know how to get in touch with him and talk to him about his coaching. Sign up to that newsletter. I know I'm signing up, and I want to stay tuned for what's next with your coaching for sure, because I like to have coaching just for my own sanity, just to stay on track. I find that mindset is like 80% willpower and 20% just mindset. Just stay on task. Just keep showing up. Or maybe it's backwards. I don't know. Maybe it's 80% mindset and 20% willpower. Who knows? Thank you all for tuning in to this episode. We will catch you on the next one.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Care Sandwich. Remember, the way we care for our clients, our teams, and ourselves can make all the difference in our success. Until next time, keep caring, keep growing, and I'll see you